Title: Caught in the Act. The Betrayal That Changed Everything. I never thought I'd be in this situation. It's the kind of thing that happens to other people. Not to you, right? But here I am, caught in a mess I never expected. My name's Alex, and I thought I had it all. A loving wife, 2 kids, a house, and a stable job. Life was supposed to be simple. But that night, everything changed. It all started with a surprise. For months, I'd been feeling like my wife, Katie, and I were drifting apart. Between work, the kids, and our daily routine, we barely had time for each other. So, I thought I'd change that. I planned a surprise. A night without the kids, just the 2 of us. I arranged for them to stay with her parents for the weekend, booked a fancy dinner reservation, and hoped to rekindle what we once had. I dropped the kids off at her parents' house and headed home, thinking everything would go according to plan. It was around midnight when I pulled into our street. I noticed an unfamiliar car parked outside. It seemed like a neighbor's friend, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I parked a couple of houses down, trying to stay unnoticed. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. Instead of entering through the front door or the garage, I slipped in through the basement door. I wanted to keep the moment intimate, quiet. As soon as I stepped inside, I heard something upstairs. Voices. At first, I assumed it was just Katie, maybe on the phone or watching TV. But then I heard a man's laugh. My heart sank. Something about that laugh was too familiar. I froze in place. My gut told me I should leave, but I couldn't. I needed to know what was really going on. I crept up the stairs and could hear more clearly now. They were talking, but it wasn't just casual chatter. I could hear something. More. I stood there for a moment, frozen in disbelief, before I decided to sneak a look. But I didn't want them to know I was there. I grabbed my phone, positioned it around the corner, and hit record. I wasn't sure what I planned to do with it, but I knew I needed proof. Proof of whatever this was. What I saw next is something I still can't fully process. There she was, Katie, with a man I didn't recognize. The man was close to her. Too close. They were laughing, talking in a way that I hadn't heard in months. And then they kissed. My heart shattered. I wanted to scream, confront them right then, but something in me held me back. I stayed still, watching through the lens of my phone as the betrayal unfolded before my eyes. After a few minutes, she whispered something about going to the bedroom, and he followed her. I couldn't take it anymore. I walked into the living room and saw his jacket and wallet. I didn't even think twice. I grabbed his ID and took a picture. I needed to know who he was, where he lived. I now had his name, his address. I walked back out the way I came, unable to process what had just happened. I sat in my car for what felt like hours, tears streaming down my face. How had I missed this? How could she do this to me? I kept replaying the video over and over again. I needed to see it. I needed to understand what I had just witnessed. But at the same time, I was torn. What was I supposed to do now? I couldn't face my parents with the kids. It would be too awkward. I couldn't go back to our home pretending everything was fine. So, I waited until I could collect myself. When I finally walked back into the house, I acted like I had just come home from a surprise visit. Katie was in the kitchen, wearing a robe, looking flustered. She said she was getting ready for a bath. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to give it away. But everything felt wrong. As the night wore on, I couldn't shake the image of the man in my head. I started avoiding her. I needed space, but I didn't know how to ask for it. She asked me what was wrong. I told her I was just tired, that everything was fine. But it wasn't. It wasn't fine at all. The next few days were a blur. I couldn't stop watching the video. I couldn't stop thinking about the man, about her. But I didn't want to confront her. I wasn't ready. Instead, I did something I never thought I'd do. I dug deeper. I found out that the man was a landscaper, someone she'd hired months ago for yard work. He lived alone. I couldn't let go of the thought of them meeting in such a casual, innocent setting. How could something so simple lead to this? Things seemed to settle a little. We started talking more, and for a moment, I thought we might move past it. But deep down, I knew things would never be the same. I installed cameras around the house. Katie didn't comment on it, but I could tell she was uncomfortable. She suggested it as a way to help me feel secure. But what I didn't tell her was that I didn't feel secure. I felt broken. Then came the night she was supposed to meet a friend for drinks. I tried to shake it off, but I couldn't. I needed to know. I didn't want to confront her. I didn't know if I was ready for that. But I followed her. I drove to the restaurant where she said she'd be. Sure enough, I saw her car. She was with a friend. I felt stupid for following her. But I couldn't help it. That night, I finally decided it was time to confront her. When she came home, I didn't hold back. I showed her the video. I was furious, but I also needed answers. She cried. She apologized. She told me it had only happened twice, that she'd ended things with him once I caught them. She said she loved me, that she'd blocked him on everything. But I couldn't let go. I refused to delete the video. It felt like the only thing I had left, proof of the pain she caused. She was angry, asking why I kept it. We went to bed angry that night, and things didn't really improve after that. We tried talking more, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the trust was gone. I'm still struggling with it. I don't know if I can ever truly forgive her. I'm not sure what's right anymore. Should I delete the video and try to move on? Or is holding on to that betrayal my way of keeping control? What would you do? Do you think I should let it go and work on moving forward? Or is it okay for me to hold on to that video as a reminder of what happened? Let me know your thoughts. I need your advice. Would love to hear what you would do in my shoes.